You ever stop and think about how flipping a light switch might have something to do with floods, or food shortages, or even the survival of rhinos? Well, today we're going to trace that exact connection. We're talking about the massive chain reaction, this incredible domino effect of our impact on the planet. Let's follow it, starting with that very first push. See, at the heart of everything is this really simple, fundamental truth. We are all connected. Every single living thing, and that includes us, is part of this super intricate web, a delicate balance between us and the world around us. But here's the thing. The sheer scale of what we humans do is starting to tip that balance. Our actions are setting off a chain reaction. Literally, a series of dominoes falling one right after the other. And that very first domino to start wobbling, it's the air we breathe. So let's talk about our first domino, the atmosphere. The very air that keeps us alive is under a whole lot of pressure from everything we do. Now, it's really important to get this straight. The greenhouse effect itself, it isn't the bad guy here, not at all. It's a totally natural and, frankly, essential process. It's where gases trap just enough heat to make Earth livable. Without it, our planet would just be a frozen rock. So the real issue is the difference between the natural effect and what scientists call the enhanced greenhouse effect. Think of it like this. Human activity has pumped so many extra greenhouse gases into the air that we've basically made the planet's natural heat-trapping blanket way too thick. It's now trapping too much heat, and that is what leads to global warming. And listen, the data here is just undeniable. If you look at measurements from the Mauna Loa Observatory, you can see this clear, relentless climb in atmospheric carbon dioxide. Back in July of 2012, the concentration hit over 393 parts per million, and that number just keeps going up year after year. Okay, so where is all this extra CO2 coming from? Well, it pretty much boils down to two main drivers. First, we're burning fossil fuels for everything, our power, our industries, our cars. And second, we've got deforestation, which is just destroying the very forests that would naturally suck all that CO2 right out of the air. So a warming atmosphere, that's the first domino. And when it falls, man, it creates this massive ripple effect that topples the next one in line, our planet's water systems. And this is where a huge global issue comes right into our homes. We all know fresh water is a limited resource, right? But have you ever really thought about where your share of it goes every single day? The answer is probably not what you think. Okay, just look at this breakdown. A full 30% of the water an average household uses is just for flushing the toilet. Can you believe that? Baths and showers take up another 25%. And the water we actually use for cooking and drinking, yeah, that's only about 10% of our total use. It's wild. And the problem isn't just about the quantity of water we're using. It's also about the quality of what's left behind. You've got runoff from farms carrying fertilizers and pesticides into our rivers, while waste from industries pollute our dams. It makes clean water that much harder to find. You see the pattern here, right? An unstable atmosphere and polluted water? Well, that inevitably leads to the next domino falling, our food supply. When the fundamental building blocks for growing food are under threat, our ability to feed everyone is put at serious risk. This is the official definition of food security. And I want you to notice, it's not just about having enough food. It's about everyone having reliable access to good, nutritious food. And that goal, well, it's becoming harder and harder to reach. Our modern way of farming is facing a kind of triple threat. You have monoculture, that's planting just one type of crop over huge areas, which is totally stripping the soil of nutrients. Then you've got pests that are constantly threatening to wipe out entire harvests. And all the while, we're losing precious topsoil to erosion. You know, the very stuff our food grows in. On top of all those challenges with production, we have a massive waste problem. And what's really striking is the difference in where that waste happens. In North America, the average person throws away 110 kilograms of food. Now compare that to sub-Saharan Africa, where it's just 5 kilograms. It just goes to show you two very different sides of the same global problem. So as we're clearing land for farms and cities, and as our climate is changing, we push over the fourth domino, biodiversity. We are losing the incredible variety of life on our planet at a really alarming rate. And look, this isn't just about feeling sentimental about losing cool plants and animals. Biodiversity is the engine that runs our planet. It gives us all the services we absolutely depend on to survive, from purifying our water to regulating our climate. A loss of diversity is a direct threat to our own well-being. Sometimes a single number tells a story more powerfully than anything else. This is the percent increase in rhino poaching in just one South African province over a measly 2 years. It's an absolutely staggering figure that shows just how immediate and brutal the threat to some species really is.
But we are fighting back. There are concrete strategies being used to protect these incredible animals. Everything from proactive stuff like dehorning and electronic tagging to powerful deterrents like much, much heavier penalties for poachers who get caught.
So, after seeing all these dominoes fall, the big question is, can we stop it? Can we actually break this chain reaction? Okay, let's focus on the solutions. To stop that first domino from even falling, we can all work to reduce our carbon footprint. The actions are pretty clear: reusing and recycling, driving less, switching to alternative energy like solar, and supporting reforestation to help bring back our planet's natural carbon vacuums. We can also attack the problem from the waste management side. The ideas are simple, but they're so powerful. Reduce what we buy in the first place, reuse containers and bags whenever we can, and really make an effort to recycle materials like paper, glass, and plastic so they can be turned into something new. So, in the end, it all comes back to where we started. That whole chain reaction, it begins with our interactions, our daily choices. Every single decision we make is the first domino. The only question left is, which way are we going to choose to let it fall?